I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened. Okay. Now I've got to just go see where I am everywhere. Hello. I know it'll take a minute, just a minute to get up there. Just a minute to get up there. Okay. Okay, we're back. Let's see. Yeah, I just need to find. Is this where we're live now? Nope, that's not it. Hang on, everybody. No. Let's see. Okay. I'm back. I'm back. Oh, okay. Now I gotta wait. I gotta share this. There's a lot of moving parts here. What happened? Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, let's do this again. Let's do this again. Okay, so I am being in spiritual circles. One of the things I've heard, like through my time and getting my spiritual footing on this planet, was the reference to Earth as being a school where we come to learn lessons, And, it makes sense. It does. It makes sense that we could say that. But I don't know. I kind of have the idea, I have the feeling that Earth is more of a playground for us rather than a school where we are learning lessons. So, and this is why I've come to that conclusion. When I was a kid and I was in school, I could not wait to graduate. I wanted to be done so that I could move on. Now, I have heard people say that about planet Earth. They could not wait to graduate so that they could be done and move on. But I love this planet. I love being here. And it doesn't, if you believe in reincarnation or not, it doesn't matter. I do. And I'm going to love coming back here. I am. I love this planet. Okay. So I believe that because as a soul, on a soul level, we're already enlightened. We are enlightened. We are aware. We feel our connection to all things. And so we come to this planet to play a game. And the game is rediscovering ourselves, rediscovering who we are, what we are, and what it is that's working through us, for us, and as us. Okay, so if this was a place where we learned lessons, that would imply getting better to me, right? That's what it feels like. Is there something? Okay, so think about lessons. I think about like some of my girlfriends who keep telling me they're learning lessons about the men that they date or the men that they marry. And it's like, one of my friends is like, I just can't seem to learn this lesson. And I keep marrying the same kind of person over and over again. Okay. And so she's mentioned how she feels like it's her karma. She's got to learn her lesson before she can move on. Yet, I was thinking about how when I homeschooled my kids, and most of the time we played, most of the time we played games. And my kids learned a lot through playing games, and games kept them engaged. And when kids play games, they are utilizing their imagination, and they are utilizing, or they're tapping in to their inner resourcefulness. And so they're growing and they're learning, but they're also having an experience. And there's no failure in play. There's no failure in the act of playing. And a lot of times there's this idea that if we're learning a lesson, we're failing at lessons if we're not getting them. All right. And so I don't know. I still think that we're here. We're here to have an experience. If kids learn best through playing, like, why wouldn't we as adults learn best through playing? Now, if this is a playground, we're having experiences. If planet Earth is a playground, we're here to have experiences. And that's really what our soul is after. Our soul just wants to have experiences. And our soul gets an experience no matter what we go through, right? We don't have to get everything right. We can fail, we can drop the ball, our life can go off track, and our soul is still getting experiences, right? Our soul does not look at whether we've succeeded or failed. Okay. So if we have this idea that we have to pass all these lessons so that we can become enlightened, so that we could be done here and just go back to the light and just never have to look back on this planet, like, what did we really gain if we were just thought we just had to get it done so we could get out of here? Like, what kind of experience does that really give us? And of course, I do believe our soul learns from all the experiences. So our soul is getting an experience. But why wouldn't we want to just have as much fun as we can while we're here? And yeah, I say that even though there are challenging things that happen in our life and are happening in the world right now. Now, I believe that, first of all, we're here to learn to create heaven on earth. Okay, this is part of the game that we're playing. We're learning to change our thoughts into things. We're learning about how there's this cause and effect that happens in our lives through our way of thinking and acting, right? The cause and effect is at work all the time. And so we're taking basically light and turning it into physical matter. And so we're doing this through our way of thinking and acting. And this is how we create our experiences. This planet has a density to it because it gives us the opportunity to turn light into a physical experience. And so I know I've also heard that, go wave. Oh, hi. Hi, I see you there. Jay, I wonder if that's you, Jenny. We're taking, okay, I lost my train of thought. Sorry. I have heard our planet referred to as a very heavy, very dense planet. But it gives us the opportunity to really mold a life. A soul is just in pure light, and everything can just change just like that, right? Yet here, because of the density of the planet, it takes a lot more work. It takes time, it takes commitment, and it takes understanding how our thoughts work. Thoughts to thinking, or thinking to acting. Okay, so if we're focused only on enlightenment, we might be missing out on the fun that we could be having here. Okay, the fun that we could be having here. Through this game that we're playing, We're learning how to stop being a victim and become a conscious co-creator. So if this is a playground, if this was a playground, it's kind of like what do we do for fun in our lives, right? And I think of the idea of taking a vacation, right? We take vacations, but a vacation it's not about learning and getting a lesson, right? A vacation is about having an experience. And so we have an experience no matter how the vacation really goes. You could end up, maybe you take a 10-day vacation and I don't know, maybe 2 of those days you have you have like an upset stomach and you spend the day in bed in your hotel room. Okay, that happened to me once. We went on vacation. I ended up having a kidney infection, so I stayed in bed for 2 days while we were there. But the rest of my time there was really great, and I spent it with my kids, and so it was great. Our our whole life, it doesn't if we're not happy and we're not joyful constantly, if we are not like if we're not a total success all the time, it doesn't mean that we're failing at a lesson. We are just having another experience. That's all it is. And all of these experiences are just teaching us how to pay attention to our thoughts, right? These experiences are teaching us how to be a conscious co-creator and that we are creating our experiences through our way of thinking and acting. Now, there's a fantastic book by an author named Florence Scovel Shinn, and the book is called The Game of Life and How to Play It. So she does say that life is just a game, right? And us souls, we're all here to play this game and get to know ourselves on a deeper level, to remember that we're a soul and we're using this body right now. Okay. But in the game of life, there are rules that make it easier to play the game. And so one of these rules is to seek first the kingdom within. And when we seek first the kingdom within, what we're doing is we're aligning with our inner being. Okay, we're aligning with the divine within us. And so the reason that, well, I'll say the reason that I believe that this is a rule is because when we are aligned with the divine within us, we are open, we're more open to receiving divine information and guidance. When we're aligned with the divine within us, we seek God in all things then. We recognize that God is all things. We see all of our life as sacred. Okay, so we seek first the kingdom of God. Then we want to know what it is that we want to experience, right? What is it that you want? What do you want to create in your life? Do you want to create the experience of moving somewhere? Or do you want to start a new business? Or do you want to change jobs, right? We want to know what it is that we want to create, because where our thoughts are, where our focus is, we are pouring our vital force energy into that. And so if we are focusing on what we don't want or what we don't like or what we wish would change so that we can be happy, we're pouring all of our vital force energy into that. So we start first by focusing on the divine within. Seek first the kingdom. Okay. And this is to remember that God is all things, and that means you, right? That means me and all of our ideas. Okay, God is all things. And then we think about what it is that we want to create. And so I know for myself, like some of the things that I want to create, of course, is like one thing is like we at Unity, we're like searching for our new location right now. And I'm really excited about that. Like, what might that feel like? And what kind of classes and events are we going to have? And I'm imagining like the first drum circle, that we'll have when we get established in our new location. And all of that feels really good. Okay. So I'm imagining it. I'm speaking the words out loud, and so my energy is going into this. Now, as long as I'm feeling happy about it, now this is when I become open to Opportunities. This is when I become open to maybe another idea to follow. Okay. And then see, this is what happens when we get an idea and then we feel excited by that idea. We want to follow that idea because we want to follow the vibe. We want to follow the vibe of what it is that just got us excited. Okay, so we want to know what it is we want. So seek first the kingdom within, right? Remember, God is all things. Know what it is that we want, and then follow the vibe. Okay, follow the vibe. Now, sometimes it is hard to think about what we want without feeling sad about it. All right, and I'll explain. That could be like if okay, before I got my puppy Lilu, there's a picture of her back there. See, I just have to show you. Boop, there she is. Before I got my puppy, I felt really sad that I didn't have my dog yet. And so when I would see other people with their Australian Shepherd puppies, I would be envious and I would feel the lack in my life. And I would even get kind of mad and judgmental. Like, who are these people? And they all have these Australian Shepherds. And I would think, like, who are you to get an Australian Shepherd before I do? Right? They're my favorite dog, not yours. And so I would be really upset. And so I couldn't even think about how I wanted this puppy. And so I had to shift to something else. Okay. And what I just decided was to just focus on how I love dogs. And I would watch funny dog videos. I wasn't looking for Australian Shepherds. I was just watching funny and sweet dog videos. And as soon as I let that go, was not even 7 days. Okay, Sunday. It was 4 days. 4 days later, I got my puppy. Okay, 4 days later. So the shift can happen really quick now. If it's something like, what if it's a health issue, right? What if it's a health issue? And you're sitting there thinking like about how you wish maybe your foot would heal and you'd feel better. Okay. To follow the vibe, right? And to give ourselves some momentum. We would want to, like what I did when I sprained my ankle last summer is I was sitting in the chair, had my ankle elevated on an ice pack, but it was still throbbing. And all I could think about was how my ankle was throbbing. And so I got into appreciation. Okay. And appreciation is a feeling, like when we get into appreciation, that feeling of appreciation will give us momentum so we can move through whatever it is we're struggling with. And what I said when I hurt my ankle was, I really appreciate how my body is working right now to heal. Like, I really appreciate that that's its set point. My body is always moving toward well-being, and I may not feel it yet, and I may not notice it yet, but my cells, they're working on it. They're always working toward well-being. And then I would just try to think of something else, right? I would think of something else I loved. I watched a lot of movies when I couldn't get on my feet, and I watched things that I loved. So anyway, we want to follow that vibe. Also, something else that kind of comes along with this idea of lessons is, well, I have to work on myself. I'm working on myself right now. Yeah, I have all these issues and I'm just spending some time working on myself. And I have been known to say that, and this isn't a judgment about anybody. And I know I will probably say that even in the future. But what if we weren't working to fix ourselves? What if we were inviting our authentic self to express bigger, bolder, and louder through us, right? Bigger, bolder, and brighter. Okay, so instead of working on ourself, that would be our little s self, we're inviting our big S self, capital S, to express, right? To express, for us to be authentic, for us basically we're letting the higher consciousness express and act through us. Okay, so we don't have to work on ourselves. That implies something needs fixing. Um, but we invite the higher self to work through us, or your brighter angel, whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so Earth School or Playground Earth, I don't know. I kind of like the idea of Playground Earth. I would love to know what you think. And anyway, yeah, okay. So I think that's it for today. Anyway, you have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.